make it through reading all 14 books of the Wheel of Time series? I don't know, but let's find out together. As of right now, the Wheel of Time TV series on Amazon is canceled after season 3. And listen, I have a lot of thoughts about this because, in my humble opinion, the show was at its creative peak and I feel like it was getting better and better and better. And then they canceled it. Like, what the heck, Amazon? Like, I'm really hoping they come to their senses and bring it back, renew it, whatever the terminology is. Well, I had already planned on reading the original book series because I'll get into that a little bit later, but I had already had this in my plans, but this recent-ish announcement really lit a fire under me to read this series. For context, both my husband and I love the TV series, and after season 3, we were like, maybe we should read the books. My husband is a big fantasy sci-fi reader, and I'm just like easing my way into that genre. And we thought it would be a cool way to compare the TV series versus the original book series. Also, we didn't know when we were going to get a new season of the show, so we thought it would be a fun way to kind of continue it and just have fun diving deeper into the world. So for those who don't know, the series is 15 books if you count the prequel. There were 14 books in the original series, and then I believe Brandon Sanderson added in the prequel. I don't plan as of right now to read the prequel, so I'm gonna say 14 books for me is the series, but we'll see. One thing that I'm really curious about is to see how the TV adaptation differs from the books. I've already kind of seen or heard talks that there was a lot left out, or that some of the things that they did earlier in the TV adaptation versus the books. And I'm of the general belief that the books are always better than the movie or the TV adaptation. So we'll see. I gotta be honest, I'm a little nervous about the commitment. I mean, 14 books, and they're not just small books, they're hefty books. This is kind of a big commitment, and I don't think I've read a series that is this long and this dense. So this will be a first for me, even though I have read fantasy books. Another concern that I have is, what if I get fantasy fatigue along the way? Like, what if I'm like, you know what? This was more than I could chew, and I'm tired of this world. I'm tired of these characters. It's just too much. This is why I want to document this journey. I don't want to just give you the highlights. I want to give you the real reactions and responses and how I'm feeling. Hopefully I can get my husband to come on so he can share his thoughts and his opinions, and maybe we can dialogue about our thoughts about the book. I gotta hopefully be able to convince him to get on camera, because he is not a camera type of guy. If you're not familiar with the Wheel of Time book series or even the TV show, Robert Jordan created this massive and immersive world full of fantasy and deep lore and just, I don't know, intricate storylines where you're just like connecting all of the dots. And it is, I would say, popularly known as one of the greatest. Yeah, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, epic fantasy series, at least as of right now. And so Robert Jordan unfortunately passed before he could finish the series, but he had really extensive notes. And so Brandon Sanderson, I hope I'm saying his name correctly or remembering it correctly, but Brandon Sanderson continued the series, and then he wrote the prequel like I talked about earlier. Okay, so before I talk about my plan of attack to get through this series, I have to tell you about the saga. And yes, it was a saga to acquire the books in this series. So I wanted a nice matching set for my bookshelf. You know, I don't think that was too much to ask. Wrong. So apparently Amazon decided that when they picked up the series, they were going to slap a huge emblem or sticker or permanent sticker, whatever you want to call it. They decided that they were going to put the sticker on every single book that was a newer edition that came out. I don't know. I really don't even know when they came out, but it was advertising essentially the TV show. And, you know, I guess I can understand the advertising purposes. You want more eyeballs on it because they announced it. There were probably an influx of people who were getting the books and X, Y, and Z. I just want a version that's clean for my shelves, especially now that they canceled it. Like, why would I want a book that says now coming to Amazon Prime or now a series on Amazon Prime when it's actually not on Amazon Prime? You know what I mean? I like my books to be clean. I know some people don't care about that, but I just want the book to be the book without it saying all the extra stuff. So I spent an undisclosed, because I'm kind of embarrassed. I ain't gonna say how long I spent, but I spent some time looking online, in person, bookstores, marketplace, all the things that you can think of to try to find a full matching set without this Amazon situation on it. And listen, I'm dedicated to this series, but I'm not dedicating to spending that kind of money. Yeah, I'm not going to spend that kind of money on a series just for it to match. So here's what I decided. I picked up this book. I was somehow able to find the first book without the emblem on it. It is the 30th edition. I don't know if you can tell. But it is the 30th edition of the first book. And I said, you know what? I'm not letting having a matching series hold me back anymore from reading the series. And my husband was like, okay. He's not a person that cares necessarily about what is on the cover. He just cares about the content. So he's like, listen, can we read this book? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to let it go. So I got the first book and it's pretty. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to find anything that matches it. So in the meantime, while I'm reading this book, I'm going to try to find a matching series that does not cost an arm and a leg. And we're just going to hope for the best. We're going to hope for the best. So since this is a pretty massive undertaking, I thought, we can make this a community experience, also for accountability purposes. But, you could read it with me. And I'm actually going to start a series specifically for this book series. I'm saying series a lot, but yes, I'm going to start a video series about the book series, and I'll be recording my honest thoughts, compared against the TV show, any surprises or major reactions I have. I want to capture it all here and, so we can experience it together. I know that a lot of people are going to be getting into this series because of the cancellation. So I thought it could be like a book club of sorts where we're sharing our thoughts and all of our opinions and all in our feelings. So I plan on reading both the physical copy and also listening it to audio. There will be times, depending on my mood, that I'll just read the physical copy, that I'll listen to the audio, or I'll listen to them immersively. I think that would be the best way to get through some of the more denser topics or some of the heavy world building that I think is just easier to consume on audio. And for the epic scenes that I want to read about and see, I think that would be really fun to read the physical version of it. So my husband and I both plan on reading it. Again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to convince him to be on here for any of the videos. We're going to try, but I do plan on at least sharing some of his thoughts, my thoughts, and comparing it. I just think that would be a fun way to hear two perspectives, even if you don't hear his physical or his voice necessarily. So as for timing, I don't really know how long it's going to take me to read each book, but I think I'll record a video after each book and just my honest reactions, and then maybe I'll do some shorter videos that, I don't know, maybe are for some of the more major things or things that really come to mind. And I'm like, I immediately need to talk about this. I can't wait till I get through the book. I have to talk about this now. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. Now, speaking of timing, I think this is going to be a longer journey. Each book is around 600 to 900 plus pages. So I think this is probably going to take like a year or more or less. Again, I don't know about the fantasy fatigue or if I'm going to get fatigued with this series. We'll see. But I just don't want to speed through reading this for content's sake, because I really do enjoy the series and I really want to give every book the attention it deserves and not just speed read for content's sake. I don't know. I know that could be a little bit of a thing, but I really just want to enjoy the series. So we're going to be in this together. So I want to invite you to this journey of sorts, this book reading community around the Wheel of Time. Whether you've read this series before, whether you watched this series or you haven't read it at all, I just want to invite you to come along and read it with me. And if you're interested in that, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to hit that bell notification so you don't miss a Wheel of Time themed video. Until the meantime, definitely pick up the first book so we can get started in this journey. It's currently on my TBR for this month, so I'm gonna get started on this soon, and I can't wait to see where this takes us. I really can't. Until next time, happy reading, and I'll see you on the next one.